Widely known as the greatest UK rapper of all time, Dave is a once-in-a-generation artist who turned therapy into music. But given the hand Dave was dealt as a kid, making it this far was never in the script. David Orobosa Omoreji was born on the 5th of June 1998, raised in Streatham, South London to Nigerian immigrant parents. He was the youngest of 3 sons. His mother, Juliet, a hard-working nurse, juggled multiple jobs just to keep the lights on. His father, a pastor, was deported back to Nigeria when Dave was only 4 years old due to visa issues. On the introduction to his second album, Dave says,
"I told mommy I ain't nothing like my father, I'ma show her there's a different definition to love."
In the same song, Dave says,
"Grew up in a 2-bed flat with 7 people."
So at times in his childhood, this family of 1 mother and 3 sons would double to having 8 people living in 1 flat. His oldest brother, Benjamin, was arrested in 2014 for fraud while working at a bank and was sentenced to 4 years in prison. His older brother, Christopher, was involved in a tragic incident in 2010. At just 16, he was one of 3 teenagers found guilty of murdering 15-year-old Sofian Belamuadin, and Christopher was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 18 years. In prison, Christopher underwent a therapy program called Psychodrama, which had a profound impact on him. This therapy inspired Dave's debut album of the same name. Dave's relationship with his brothers, especially Christopher, deeply influenced his music. In the track Drama, he raps,
"I remember when you got sentenced and I was throwing up. It's like they took a piece of my freedom when I had opened up. I just lost the only fucking person I idolized."
And in the Black Box Cypher, Dave says,
"I never came from a broken home. The system came and broke my home, and now my bros are sitting in cells like chromosomes."
Having 1 son left at home and eager to keep him on track, Dave's mom decided to buy him a keyboard. At 14 years old, Dave started to teach himself how to play piano by watching tutorials on YouTube.
If I do this correct, no real way to do it right.
2 years later, his love for music had grown and he started writing lyrics and experimenting with storytelling through rap. His writing often focused on personal and political themes and became an outlet for processing his upbringing and his surroundings. But it wasn't until Dave was 16 where he made his entrance into the music scene. On the 10th of May 2015, UK music platform Black Box would upload Season 6, Episode 24, Dave's infamous Black Box freestyle.
Walking down my road and I don't even know my ends now. Everybody's shanked up, everybody's got a skeng now.
His rawness and depth of his lyrics at his young age caught immediate attention. During the freestyle, he goes into depth about the area he grew up in and speaks on his family at length, particularly his brother.
"My brother's stressed out, a man can see it in his face, like man can see it in his eyes. He's holding back the tears, that judge moving like a lion, holding back them years."
The freestyle picked up traction and people in the comments were predicting Dave's potential 9 years ago. Why didn't anyone tell me David raps? My man went in. One day we're gonna see him on the TV screen. Stay blessed, David. Lyrically crazy lunatic, you're gonna be big. First time I've heard the pain in an artist's voice. This is raw. This kid's got talent. Views were going up by 1,000 a day and fans were already calling it the best Black Box. A statement that would still be said 8 years later. Aside from the rawness, what made it stand out was the content. While others were rapping about girls and guns, Dave was talking about missing his dad, his brothers in jail and his struggles with identity. You could tell even then that this wasn't your typical teenage MC and the industry started to take notice. After his Black Box freestyle in May 2015, Dave went on to release 5 more songs that year: Midsummer Night in July, Karma in August, Street Stars TV freestyle in September, an appearance on the Black Box Cypher in October, and an SBTV warm-up session on the late Jamal Edwards' platform in November. But Dave's first song on Spotify wouldn't come until March the next year, Jekyll and Hyde, where he described the dualities of his life, like the classic tale of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, a novel by Robert Louis Stevenson about a man with 2 personalities, a respected scientist who discovers a potion that allows him to transform into Mr. Hyde, a man with darker impulses. In May 2016, he'd released Tiago Silva,
Santam from the football ex-AJ, man mystic with a pen like JK.
with another MC in the UK grime scene, AJ Tracy, before releasing his first EP in September, 6 Paths, which peaked at number 76 on the UK albums chart. A 6-song EP which included track Wanna Know, a song which would soon change his life. Around this time, Drake, known for his interest in UK rap,
Shout out Gigs for setting the thing, SN1, OVO.
often collaborating with artists, surprise appearances at their shows, and especially cosigns. Cosigns are essentially when one artist says they like another artist's music, and impressed by Wanna Know, Drake reached out to Dave expressing his interest in collaborating.
How did the Drake relationship happen?
Well, basically, I was just floating, as you do, in September in London. Got a call because they wanted my number to like inquire about like an instrumental or something. I don't exactly remember it. I gave him the beat and he was like, oh, can I get an a cappella? And I was really confused and excited and nervous.
So many emotions.
Yeah, so many emotions. And then, yeah, it just came out and it just exists. And it's just a beautiful thing, really.
On October the 23rd, 2016, during his 30th birthday episode of OVO Sound Radio, Drake premiered the Wanna Know remix featuring his own verse.
They try to send for me, envy and jealousy. It's everything I wish upon my enemy.
This marked Dave's first entrance into the UK singles charts, peaking at number 51 and introducing him to a broader international audience. The collaboration not only elevated Dave's profile, but also signified a growing recognition of UK rap on the global scale. In January of 2017, Dave would follow up Wanna Know with an even bigger track, Samantha.
I changed my number couple times, cause man kept calling me for things a man are hating, but they're waving when they saw me on this strip.
Currently sitting on 66 million views, Dave linked up with another UK rapper, J Hus, to show that he can make hits, and the song debuted at number 63 on the UK singles chart. J Hus would go on to reach heights and status similar to Dave.
Did you see what I done? Came in a black Benz, left in the white.
So subscribe to the channel and drop a like on the video if you want to see a video dedicated to J Hus. You know what's great besides the song? This video. I mean, it's so real. No fake women, no expensive cars, no jewelry, just them and music. Without a doubt, the most underrated rapper out there. 2017 will be his year, and that it was. In fact, it could be argued that 2017 was the most important year of Dave's whole career, because he'd shown his ability to perfect storytelling in music. Now it was about versatility. In October and November of that year, he'd released the 2 lead singles off his upcoming EP, Game Over. If you're looking for a Dave poster or a poster from another UK rapper, you can get the exact ones I've got on my wall, so make sure you go hit the link in the description and go cop yourself something for your room. The first track, Question Time, wasn't a diss track, it was a public trial. In the track, 19-year-old Dave grilled world leaders and the UK government by name, better than any news outlets were, asking the questions that everyone had.
Question for the new Prime Minister. How do you have a heart so sinister?
In the comment section of the video, it's almost impossible to find anything negative. That was actually unreal, the truth and directness. Actually talking about things that matter instead of the BS we distract ourselves with. Insane. The second lead single, No Words, featuring Mostak, debuted its music video the day before the EP was released.
I don't want a dead no beef. I don't want to sort it out.
This track would go on to be the most successful of the entire EP, debuting at number 18 on the UK singles charts and peaking at number 17, as well as achieving the number 1 spot on the independent singles chart. The Game Over EP would release the day after, on the 3rd of November 2017, a 7-track EP. Game Over would officially put Dave on the map as a UK rapper who's capable of making the hits for the clubs like No Words, as well as other tracks showcasing a masterclass in storytelling. Songs like My 19th Birthday and How I Met My Ex were 7+ minutes of just pure storytelling.
Home's where the heart is, but I got a hole where my heart is, because I let a hole where my heart is.
Where he spoke on his own heartbreak, mental health, and family trauma.
This type of chick, she got a spark like you were lighting spliffs. You know you like her when you're thinking about your words. She got me typing, deleting my messages, then rewriting.
It proved he wasn't just a one-lane artist. He could do the lyrical stuff, the commercial stuff, and again, people took notice. In October 2018, Dave achieved his first number 1 single on the UK chart with Funky Friday, a song he produced featuring Fredo.
At this age, how are them man still hating? My young boy in a different country, but he ain't ever been on vacation.
It became the first UK rap song to debut at number 1 since Tiny Temper's Not Letting Go in 2015. It marked a significant milestone in not only Dave's history, but UK raps, showing the growing mainstream appeal in homegrown rap music. By now, Dave was one of the biggest rappers in the UK, and attention to him was coming from all continents. The question on everyone's mind was, where's the album? On March 8th, 2019, 19-year-old Dave would release his long-awaited debut album, Psychodrama. Remember that word from earlier? The name came from a real form of therapy used in prisons, including the one where Dave's brother Christopher was serving his sentence. The 11-song album was structured like a therapy session, with the therapist's voice starting and finishing the album.
Tuesday, 23rd of January, 2018. I'm here with David.
This wasn't rap for playlists, this was poetry, and Dave acknowledged this himself.
I saw a lot of negative comments saying like, do you know what, it's a lot of good songs and like, yeah, he's telling a story, but I don't think I'll listen to it very often because it's heavy. And that was okay for me because my identity as a rapper, as who I am, is exactly what they're describing. And even though they don't necessarily resonate with it, I have achieved what I've set out to do by doing X, Y, and Z.
Every song played a different role. Location and Streatham, the more catchy hits, showing that he can make songs with replay value.
This year about vacations, flight catching, train taking. Soon as my nigga off probation.
While still having bars in there that you're gonna scrunch your face at. Screwface Capital, one of the most popular songs on the album, where almost every lyric has you stopping the song to decipher the bars.
Man wanna beef, don't know what the stakes is. Broad daylight, do a nigga on a day shift.
Then there's Leslie, a detailed, heart-wrenching story about a woman trapped in an abusive relationship.
I remember viscerally, Jason pulling from behind me, now he's gripping on me. White flashes, eye gashes when he's hitting me.
Psychodrama debuted at #1 on the UK albums chart. The album set a new record, selling 26,390 units first week, for the most first week streams for a British rap album in the UK, surpassing the previous record held by Stormzy's Gang Signs and Prayer. Psychodrama received widespread critical acclaim, with many fans and outlets hailing it the greatest UK rap album of all time. Psychodrama earned several prestigious awards, including the Mercury Prize in 2019.
The winner of the 2019 Mercury Prize is Dave.
An award previously given to Skepta's Konnichiwa and Dizzy Rascal's Boy in the Corner. In 2020, at 21 years old, Dave would become the youngest artist ever to win the Brit Award for British Album of the Year, beating the likes of Harry Styles, Lewis Capaldi and Stormzy. But the most memorable moment from that night at the Brits wasn't Dave's award, but his performance. Dave performed track 3 off his album, Black, the most politically charged song on the album.
Look, black is beautiful, black is excellent. Black is pain, black is joy, black is evident.
An insight into what it means to be black in Britain, the beauty, the burden and the stereotypes. The content of the song is already heavy, but at the Brits, Dave added a whole new verse that hadn't been heard before that managed to cut even deeper. In the first 2 lines of this new verse, he called the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson a racist.
It is racist, whether or not it feels racist. The truth is our Prime Minister's a real racist.
He spoke about Meghan Markle's treatment in the press at the time.
And if somebody hasn't said it, equality's a right, it doesn't deserve credit. Now if you don't want to get it, then you're never gonna get how the news treats Kate versus how they treated Meghan.
He also paid homage to the late Jack Merritt, a 25-year-old justice reform advocate who served as a course coordinator for the University of Cambridge's Learning Together programme, which aimed to bring together university students and prisoners to foster rehabilitation and mutual understanding. Jack had been working with Dave's brother Christopher when he tragically lost his life in the 2019 London Bridge terror attack, where Jack and fellow Cambridge graduate Saskia Jones were fatally stabbed by convicted terrorist Usman Khan. Dave would finish the performance by addressing the lack of accommodation or support for the victims of the Grenfell Tower tragedy, 24-storey residential building in West London, which caught fire, resulting in the deaths of 72 people and injuring 70 more. Following the performance, social media exploded, with some calling it one of the greatest live performances ever on UK television. Labour politicians tweeted support for Dave's performance. John McDonnell, the Shadow Chancellor, wrote, "Amazing, Dave telling it like it is." Even Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn was retweeting Dave's lyrics. Boris Johnson, on the other hand, never publicly addressed what Dave said in his Brits performance. However, the Home Secretary, Priti Patel, pushed back at his comments on BBC Breakfast the following Wednesday.
I simply do not subscribe to those comments at all. I know the Prime Minister, I've worked with the Prime Minister for a long time, for many years. He's absolutely not a racist. And I'm afraid that is very much a generalisation that has been made by rapper Dave, and I just disagree with it.
Dave hit back at the Home Secretary in a Twitter video.
I'm sure you do know who Dave is, and not Cameron. He says that the Prime Minister's a racist.
Well, that's utter nonsense, it really is. I mean, I don't know what those comments are based on. It's wrong to make judgments about individuals when you don't know a particular individual, as in the case of the Prime Minister. You know, he is not a racist at all, and
straight up showing articles and evidence that Boris Johnson was in fact a racist. Jordan Stevens, an actor and musician who attended the Brits, said the performance came at a moment where we're having to deal with a Prime Minister not distancing himself from Nazi-like comments. I think the Prime Minister would have been better off watching one of the most gifted young black men this country has produced performing on stage. The performance was praised by most, but also criticised by some others. Ofcom received 309 complaints about Dave's performance. However, the regulator dismissed these complaints, stating that the performance was within the expectations of viewers for such an event. During its release week, Radio 1 DJs Annie Mac and Greg James also received complaints from listeners, saying it was racist against white people.
How do you feel about some of the negative reactions to Black?
I think it was highlighted by Annie Mac and Greg James when they were like playing it on the radio. I got some tweets about it straight away. Firstly, I would probably say that like one of the reasons that like I avoided highlighting it was because of how much positive reactions that I've got.
What was the common theme? Like, what were they saying?
A lot of people were just saying that like, if I had made a song called X, Y, and Z, it would be racist. So this song is racist. I never took it to heart because I always felt that like a lot of people read headlines, and there was a Twitter trailer that was out like, oh, black is beautiful, black is excellent, the first 2 lines of the song, yeah? A lot of the people that DM me that response, I initially assumed you haven't listened to the song, you haven't made like an educated comment here.
Well, it is just ignorance in general. Making a song expressing how you feel and then having people tell you that you shouldn't be feeling, that's not the point of music.
Dave's performance isn't the first time an artist made a political statement on stage. In 2018, Stormzy called out Theresa May's government for their reaction to the Grenfell tragedy.
Yo, Theresa May, where's that money for Grenfell? Well, you thought we just forgot about Grenfell, you criminals.
What Psychodrama gave us in private, the Brits' performance amplified in public. It showed that art rooted in facts could break the fourth wall. In a single performance, Dave shifted what was possible for UK rap, that you could speak uncomfortable truths in spaces where people usually play it safe. But that wasn't Dave's only iconic performance of that year, as in the summer of 2019, he would perform for the first time on the Glastonbury stage. During the song Thiago Silva, he invited a fan out of the crowd to rap along with him, and it was the biggest story of the entire weekend. The performance went viral and still gets spoken about today. I've actually done a video on what happened to Alex, the guy on stage, so I'll put it in the corner right here. Make sure you go and watch it after this video. Later that year, Dave would make his acting debut in the reboot Netflix series Top Boy. Top Boy is a London crime drama that first aired in 2011 for a total of 4 episodes. In 2013, it returned for season 2 with another 4 episodes, before being abruptly cancelled. In 2019, Top Boy returned with a lot to thank famous fan of the show, Drake. Dave played the character Modi, and fans were surprised at how good his acting was.
Don't tell me because you're getting out on Friday, big bad Sully now. Don't tell me because you're getting out on Friday, you're gonna come here and just have a conversation. I'm disappointed.
The season was well received and went on to release another 2 seasons. However, spoiler alert, if you've never seen Top Boy, I'll give you 3 seconds. Dave's character dies. He dies. And so far, that's the last time that we've seen Dave acting. After just 1 album, he'd cemented himself into UK rap as one of the biggest rappers in the country. And by his 2nd album in 2021, that praise came with a lot of pressure. Dave was now expected to be role model, storyteller, lyricist, chart topper, hit maker, all at once. We're All Alone in This Together released on the 23rd of July 2021 as Dave's 2nd studio album. The album would be one of the biggest UK rap openings ever, selling 74,000 units first week, and I was one of them. This belongs up there. Every track charted, with Clash and Verdansk hitting the top 10. Other tracks like Heart Attack became cultural talking points. Around this time, he also began producing songs for other artists, including Stormzy, Central C, Fredo, and co-writing songs for Ed Sheeran. But his most successful track as a producer would come in 2023. On the 4th of June 2023, Dave and Central C would collaborate for a 4-song EP, Split Decision. The lead single off that EP, Sprinter, which Dave co-produced, became the biggest UK rap song of all time.
The man them too inconsiderate, 5-star hotel smoking cigarette, mixing codeine up with a Finnegan. She got thick but she wanna get Finnegan.
The song debuted at #1, becoming Dave's third and Central C's first chart-topping single, and stayed at #1 for 10 weeks straight, becoming the longest-running UK rap #1 in chart history. Sprinter gained 13.4 million streams in its first week, breaking the record for a rap single in UK history. By December, Sprinter had gained over 500 million streams, becoming the most streamed UK rap song of all time, as well as winning the 2024 MOBO Award for Best Song. Not bad. Not to mention the other 3 songs combined are just sitting on over 300 million streams as well. He returned to the Glastonbury stage that summer to perform Sprinter alongside Central C, but since that day, at the time of recording in May 2025, Dave has not released a single song as the lead artist since, with his last album being almost 4 years ago. Fans started to ask questions about where has Dave gone, but it's recently been revealed by Dave himself that his third album will be released in 2025, with many rappers coming and going and falling off. Dave has managed to remain at the top by playing the long game, not rushing albums or singles, and only releasing when the time is right. And the fans are happy to wait because they know so far the music's been worth waiting for. No details or leaks of the album have been released yet, but for those of you viewers who aren't in the UK and maybe aren't quite aware of Dave's impact or influence, UK music fans adore Dave. They put him as the face of UK rap. In fact, most UK rap fans would say Dave is the greatest UK rapper of all time. And the mad part is, he's only 26. Dave isn't just a rapper anymore. He's a producer, mentor. He shaped the culture for a lot of people. The UK industry used to box artists like Dave in. Talking about politics too much? Nah, too serious. If you're going mainstream, you're a sellout. He's now one of the most successful UK rappers of all time. And if I was a betting man, he's the guy I'd put my money on for the first UK rapper to ever win Best Rap Album at the Grammys. And when you rewind to the start of the video, with the hand he was dealt, he was never meant to make it this far, and yet here we are. He successfully turned pain into poetry. The kid who had nothing had enough, and now he's got everything. Whew, I got chills when I wrote that.